Irris, good evening to you. Can you tell us more about what Benjamin Netanyahu had to say?
Yes, I can tell you that he was speaking in English, I think not for the people of Lebanon. I think this was a message for the international community because it ends with, this is going to be short, you can return to your homes. The people of Lebanon, as we heard from our Beirut correspondent, they got those messages this morning, on their phones. That one of the Lebanese telcos said there were 80,000 calls made from Israel telling people to leave. You could see the size of the movement of people. There were even apparently interruptions of Lebanese radio stations by Israel with the message, get out now, get out while you're safe. We've just heard from the Defense Force spokesperson, that's the Israeli Defense Force spokesperson, Daniel Hagari. This is the third time he's spoken today. Earlier, he told the people of southern Lebanon they had to go. After that, he said the size of the explosions you're seeing are because we're hitting stockpiles of weapons. That's what you see going up in these explosions that you are seeing in southern Lebanon. And what we just heard from him now was a confirmation that there have been 1,300 targets struck. And he showed pictures of some houses where the launchers are actually in the roofs of the houses, heading out. I think what is significant about this largest one-day attack since the 2006 war, since the second Lebanon war, I think what is significant is that nevertheless, neither side is doing all it can yet. Israel is not hitting the long-range precision-guided missiles that Hezbollah has. Hezbollah is not firing them. It's not hitting central Tel Aviv, central Jerusalem, even though I do hear the planes going overhead. So the question is, where does this go as both sides escalate, still trying to hold themselves back a little? Is that maintainable, sustainable in such a situation?
Irris, you mentioned 1,300 Hezbollah targets hit by Israel today. Tell us about Hezbollah's response.
We've heard just now, that there's been over 200 rockets fired into Israel. Initially, in the first days of this war of attrition, it was about 500,000 people who were within the range of the rockets that Hezbollah fired. Now there's 1.5 million people. Israel has closed schools. It's moved hospitals underground. It's closed airspace in the north of Israel so that the only thing that will be flying will be rockets and Israeli military planes and intercepts, of course, so that there'll be no accidents with civilian aircraft. Everything is on an emergency footing. They're building field hospitals in the north of the country. So you really do feel that they're preparing for a war, even though you still see from the fact that it is an escalation, but not a full escalation. You do still see that both sides are not using their full force. And it's plain that Washington doesn't want this at this moment, or indeed at all. It's not clear what Iran wants, but they are currently reaching out feelers to Washington saying they want to negotiate or renegotiate the nuclear arms deal. So perhaps they don't want this at this time either. And because you've got the two sponsors, if you like, not keen on a war now, perhaps there won't be that full-scale war that could lead, it's estimated conservatively, to thousands dead on both sides, possibly tens of thousands.
The Israeli military operation continues in the Gaza Strip. I think it's worthwhile pointing that out to people. The pressure for a peace deal then becomes even more important.
It does, because in many ways, the diplomatic solution depends on a peace deal in Gaza. What Hezbollah has said all along is that if there is the war in Gaza stops, then they stop firing. I don't know if that's still the situation after the past week, but nevertheless, up to the past week, up to this escalation, that was their position all along. So what people here are saying, what people who are interested in diplomatic solutions, what we're hearing from Europe, what we're hearing from Washington, is that the key to this is a resolution of the war in Gaza, which would mean a resolution for Gaza, for the Israeli hostages held in Gaza, and for the North, that perhaps the solution has to be diplomatic with both sides, North and South.